What's up? Welcome to Stephen Johnson Stocks 1 year review. Got something serious to say. The secret that I've been keeping from you guys. It's about heroin. Got addicted. Obviously not. No. Profitable year. Profitable year. But even more profitable. 7 months or so, and it's been going well. Clocking in a lot of miles running. Hit 150k just this month. So a lot of good stuff. But if I could say I've learned one thing from this year, it's when the market's not giving you your setups, just stay away and don't short too early pre-market. Fix these things. I'll be flying. And my biggest loss of this year. This video is biggest wins, biggest losses. Biggest loss was actually RKDA, but I didn't keep it in because it was just a mistake. I was in Thailand doing you know what with you know who, and I thought I was out of a position and I left it, and a couple of days later I'd realised my account had blown up. But it was actually, I thought I was up a grand. So without that I would have been up like 10 grand in the last 7 months. So, but check it out. Yo, what's up? I just wanted to take you quickly through the year. Finishing pretty much net 2,200 for the year. But I was trading with big account, and then I just thought I'm keep on losing discipline and taking losses. So since I packed it in after taking that loss, I was roughly down 500, then up 1,000, up 2,000, up 1,000, up 2,000, up 6,000. Yeah, I pretty much finished around. I basically started trading with a $600, $500 account, and I managed to just flip it and grow it 400, 500% a couple of times, and I ended up like up net 5,500. Gross more, but after commissions and the cost of borrows, I ended up net about 5.5 grand on the year. So that's kind of the plan. Slowly, keep on growing that small account. I'm currently turned a $620 account, and it just off 1,000. So I'm nearly double it. And I'll slowly trying to get used to the money and trade from like 600 or 2 or 3 or 4,000, and then if I can do it, then next time I'll start at maybe 1,000 or 1,200 next year and try and get it back up to 5, and then if I can trust myself with 2,000, and I'll keep on building and building. But do I know how to trade? Absolutely. Will I learn from my mistakes? I think so, because I've already put plans in place, so I can't really lose 600 of my own money. And just reviewing the stocks, I see the bad mistakes I've made. But check it out, the best and worst trades of this year. Oh, yowza. Okay, so this was the biggest loss of the year, and the loss was $1,845. And it was a simple one. It was back on March 29. I can't show you the daily, unfortunately, but there's also not much need to show you the daily. The basic breakdown is there was no news on this day. I mean, I checked back through the news archives. There's nothing. The company does make it's up and down. Sometimes it loses on earnings. Sometimes it makes money, but it's always generating revenue, at the least. And more recently, it's been profitable. So, but there was no news. This was purely sector momentum in March. And normally, if this was the day that I traded it, I mean, potentially it was an epic short. This came up and all the way back down, and that's normally what it does. It spikes and comes down, spikes and comes down, spikes and comes down, has a 1 day run and comes down, gaps and comes down, spikes and comes down. There's no real day where it's ever went on a multi-day run, except here, on extremely little volume. But I mean, that was the problem. The volume was the hindrance, because I didn't anticipate 16 million volume, and I should have, because it was really trading in the 400, 500, 600, 1 million pre-market levels. And the only really time you get the news gap up early on in the morning, and then the fade or a weak spike is when there is no news, or it's the stock's up for no reason, and it's got 200 or 300,000 volume. Then you don't normally see a follow through. But this had so much momentum, even though just on it being a sector momentum play, that it just burst through, and my simple mistake was, if I look back at the actual trade, I was in at 734. I was out at 927. I was bossed by the time and ignore this. I don't know what that is. I've never even had 8,000 in my account, but the profit and loss is 3,190. But the fact is, I was in way too early, and then I was basically put out by my broker at 927, and it was before the market even opened. And the lesson is, don't underestimate volume and the impact that volume can have on a stock and how much it can push it. And never, ever, ever, ever be in more than a third size pre-market, because you don't know what's going to happen at the open, and you don't know what's going to happen when you have that rush of buyers at 931. I didn't even make it to the market open. But don't be in more than a third size pre, and always never underestimate the power of volume, because when you have this record volume, you have bigger pushes than you expect. The overall thesis was correct, but underestimated volume. ES was really my favorite kind of overextension first red day kind of short pattern, but I've actually got the original video that I recorded at the time of the show before all of this, so I'll show you that. But the profit, it was the 15th of October. It was, overall I made $1,039 on it, so not bad at all. Just looking at my trades, I only took 6 trades despite the market being crazy. I took 6 trades this week. But SES is pretty simple one. It's a typical kind of bad company. Gaps up and fails, red flag. Big wick, red flag. Spikes on 3 million volume, comes all the way back down, closes near its lows, does it again. But then every now and then, a stock will, with a really low flow, a stock will go parabolic. So when it kind of gapped up this day, on this day, I was expecting it to be a short and I had to cut the loss. And then obviously when it went parabolic, I was just like waiting for the backside. But there was a lot of indicators of the backside coming in. And this was an easy $1,000 trade on a small account. But if we look at, traded 32 million, had its blowout spike. You'll often see that they'll trade massive volume and they'll have this like crazy spike. And then then the backside comes in. And we got the backside of this first red day. Loads of signs here. The volume is, it traded 5 million on the day compared to 32 million, so that's like 20% of its normal volume. If a stock, it's up like 1, 2, this would have been its third day. So it's on its third day of momentum is 1 bear flag. It's gapping down is another bear flag. That's 2 bear flags. Third bear flag is there's no interest in the stock anymore. So if a stock's massively overvalued and there's no interest in it anymore, and there's no buyers to prop it up, then everyone's just going to sell and it's going to drop. And then obviously, yeah, I don't know if there's another bear flag, but and BIMI ripped, and all traders were watching that as the top percent gainer. So SES kind of got forgot about, which made us knew it would be a textbook drop. And you had this really weak close. Endless indicators. Yeah, I mean, you've got this crazy rip, which is like always the sign of the end. It has one final push, and then it's kind of closed quite weak. It started, and it really like dived after hours as well. And then when it had one push, you had to see, can we like make some of that ground up? No, there's no volume, and this is trading super light. And I was just short. It's building in short from about the 17s, and I was covering all the way down in the 10s. Probably took about 30% in this, in and out all day. But I'm not gonna tell you guys, they're like, oh, like I shorted this and I covered into this dip, and I shorted this and I covered into this dip. Like that bit's easy. Like yes, cover into panics, short into strength. Like that's the obvious part. But you don't want to be thinking on a granular level. You want to be thinking big picture, and like is this stock overall going to do what I want? And if it does, and it is going to drop all day, then chances are your entries and exits don't really matter. As long as you more or less make the best of it, you're going to capture that $1,000 day. Hope you guys comment below and tell me what your profit and loss was for the year. I'm really curious. What are the key lessons that you took away this year? Please comment below. And you'll see me next year as well. I was a bit quiet on the YouTube front this year, despite having a profitable year, simply for the fact that I find it sometimes painful to make these videos after making hundreds and hundreds of them. But I want to keep going, keep true to the promises that I made, that I'll never stop. And I guess another goal is to make more videos than last year, which shouldn't be hard. It should be at least one a month. But peace. Comment the lessons you learned last year. Follow us on these channels, and I'll see you next year. Hopefully for an even better year. The aim is a 10,000 plus year, and I'll highlight this video last year and this exactly the shit that I'm saying, and we'll see how I did last year, and if I cut the losses out and cut the mistakes out and went on to make more than 10k. That's the target. Yeah, and I forgot to say, if I do make over $10,000, I will be donating it to a charity of my choice, one that involves drugs and hookahs.